The 1996 United States of America 5-cent coin, more commonly known as the 1996 Jefferson Nickel, is part of one of the longest-running coin series in American history. It carries deep historical, artistic, and cultural significance that reflects the evolution of U.S. coinage and national identity. Minted in Philadelphia, as indicated by the P. mint mark to the right of Thomas Jefferson's portrait, this nickel continues a legacy that began in 1938, when the Jefferson nickel replaced the earlier Buffalo nickel. The design of the coin, which has endured for decades with only minor changes, was created by the German-born American sculptor Felix Schlag, who won a design competition held by the U.S. Mint. Schlag's depiction of Jefferson was based on a portrait by Jean-Antoine Houdon, a French sculptor who created one of the most accurate likenesses of Jefferson in the late 18th century. The obverse side of the 1996 nickel prominently displays the left-facing bust of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, 1801 to 1809, and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. Above and around Jefferson's portrait are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," along with the year 1996. These inscriptions not only identify the coin's date of issue, but also reflect two of the most enduring themes in American coinage: faith and freedom. The motto, "In God We Trust," has appeared on most U.S. coins since the mid-19th century, officially adopted during the Civil War as a reflection of the nation's spiritual foundation. Liberty, on the other hand, has appeared on U.S. coins since the nation's founding, embodying the core value upon which the United States was established. Jefferson himself was an ardent advocate of liberty, individual rights, and democracy, making this inscription particularly appropriate for a coin bearing his image. The reverse side features Monticello, Jefferson's beloved plantation home near Charlottesville, Virginia. The building is an American architectural masterpiece designed by Jefferson himself, inspired by classical European styles, particularly the works of Italian architect Andrea Palladio. The name Monticello means little mountain in Italian, and the neoclassical structure stands as a lasting testament to Jefferson's intellect, aesthetic sense, and commitment to Enlightenment ideals. The depiction on the coin shows the front facade of Monticello, complete with its dome and columned portico, with the inscription "E pluribus unum," out of many one, above, and Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America below. This Latin motto represents the unification of the original 13 colonies into one nation, a principle Jefferson helped to establish through his political and philosophical leadership. The 1996 nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it the silver-gray color typical of the denomination. It weighs 5.00 grams, measures 21.21 millimeters in diameter, and has a plain, smooth edge. The coin's metallic composition has remained unchanged since the Jefferson nickel's introduction in 1938, with the exception of the wartime nickels from 1942 to 1945, when nickel was replaced by silver and manganese to conserve metal for the war effort. The Philadelphia Mint struck an impressive 829,332,000 nickels in 1996, reflecting the high demand for this denomination in commerce. Because of such a large mintage, most 1996 nickels are common and can still be found in circulation today. Despite its abundance, collectors and numismatists often seek out coins in uncirculated condition, which retain their original mint luster and sharp detail. The quality of a strike on Jefferson nickels, especially the sharpness of Monticello's steps, is an important factor in determining value. On well-struck examples, all 6 steps leading up to the Monticello building are fully visible and distinct, a feature known as full steps, FS, among coin collectors. Full steps nickels are scarcer and command higher premiums, as they demonstrate exceptional minting quality. The Philadelphia Mint has historically produced softer strikes compared to the Denver Mint, making 1996 nickels with full steps relatively more desirable. In terms of grading, circulated 1996 nickels are typically valued at their face value of 5 cents. However, uncirculated examples graded MS, 65, mint state, or higher can be worth anywhere from $1 to $10, while full-step specimens graded MS, 67 FS or better can fetch $50 to over $200, depending on market conditions and certification by grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. Coins with exceptional luster, clean surfaces, and no visible contact marks are especially prized by collectors. Some 1996 nickels also exhibit interesting mint errors, which add to their collectible appeal. These may include off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, clipped planchets. Next top. The 1981 P. Jefferson Nickel, 5-cent coin, is part of the long-running Jefferson Nickel series, which began in 1938 and continues today. It was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, as indicated by the small P mint mark on the right side of Monticello on the reverse, back, of the coin. The obverse, front, features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, designed by Felix Schlag. Surrounding his image are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" on the left, "Liberty" and the date, 1981 on the right. The reverse shows Jefferson's home, Monticello, with the inscriptions "E Pluribus Unum" above, Monticello in the center, and 5 cents and United States of America below. The coin is made of a copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper and 25% nickel, has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, and weighs 5 grams. In 1981, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 657 million nickels, making the coin relatively common in circulation. However, collectors often seek examples with sharp details on Monticello steps, known as full steps, FS nickels. A 1981 P nickel with full, well-defined steps is much scarcer and can be worth significantly more, especially in high mint state grades. Regular circulated examples are typically worth face value, 5 cents, while uncirculated or full-step coins can sell for a few dollars to over $100, depending on condition and certification. Overall, the 1981 P. Jefferson Nickel represents a typical issue of the early 1980s, a period marked by high mintages and durable coinage, but it remains an interesting collectible for those who appreciate the history, artistry, and subtle varieties within U.S. coinage. Would you like me to include details about errors or varieties, like double dies or off-center strikes, for the next top? The 1989 P. Jefferson Nickel is a 5-cent coin issued by the United States Mint as part of the long-running Jefferson Nickel series, which began in 1938. The P mint mark indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the primary U.S. mint facilities. This coin carries a denomination of 5 cents and features a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighing 5.00 grams with a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. The obverse, front, of the coin displays a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. Above Jefferson's head appears the national motto, "In God We Trust," while the word "Liberty" and the date 1989 are placed to the right in a cursive style, separated by a small 5-pointed star. The design was created by Felix Schlag, whose original 1938 design was selected through a national competition to replace the earlier Buffalo nickel. Schlag's rendering of Jefferson remained largely unchanged for over 6 decades, making it one of the most enduring portraits in U.S. coinage history. The reverse, back, of the 1989 P nickel features Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home, depicted with its classical dome and front columns. Above the building is the word "E Pluribus Unum," Latin for "out of many, one," symbolizing unity among the states. Below Monticello are the inscriptions Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. When collectors refer to a full Monticello nickel, they are usually describing a coin where all architectural details, particularly the steps at the base of the building, are fully struck and visible. A full steps designation adds significant value to a Jefferson nickel, as these details often appear weak due to striking pressure inconsistencies. In 1989, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 1.2 billion Jefferson nickels, meaning most examples are common in circulation. However, specimens with exceptional strike quality, uncirculated surfaces, or full-step details are prized among numismatists. From a historical standpoint, the 1989 P nickel represents the late Cold War era and an age of technological and social transition in the United States. It was part of everyday commerce and carried Jefferson's image into the pockets of millions of Americans, symbolizing democratic ideals, education, and innovation. Although it is a modern coin with little intrinsic metal value beyond 5 cents, its design continuity connects it directly to an earlier generation of U.S. coinage history. Collectors often appreciate the 1989 P nickel for its role in bridging the classic and modern eras of minting. In pristine mint state, MS 65 or higher condition, the coin may be worth $1 to $5, depending on quality and market demand. Proof versions minted in San Francisco, bearing NS mint mark, are worth slightly more. While circulated examples remain worth face value, the coin continues to attract interest for its aesthetic balance, historic symbolism, and contribution to the enduring Jefferson Nickel legacy. Next up. The 1990 P. Jefferson Nickel is part of the long-running Jefferson Nickel series, first introduced in 1938 to honor Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The obverse front of the coin features a left-facing portrait of Jefferson designed by sculptor Felix Schlag, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1990 along the rim. The letter P beneath the date indicates that the coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. On the reverse back, the design depicts Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate, with the inscriptions E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. The coin is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighs 5 grams, and has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. Over 661 million of these coins were minted in 1990 at the Philadelphia Mint, making them common in circulation. While most 1990 P nickels hold only face value, those in uncirculated condition, MS 65 or higher, or with rare mint errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or full steps on Monticello, can be worth a few dollars or more to collectors. The phrase full steps refers to a coin where the steps on Monticello are fully struck and visible, which indicates excellent mint quality and makes the coin more desirable to numismatists. Next top. The 1985 P. Jefferson Nickel is a 5-cent coin issued by the United States Mint and struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as indicated by the small P mint mark on the obverse front of the coin to the right of Thomas Jefferson's bust. Like other Jefferson nickels minted from 1946 through 2003, the 1985 P issue is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighs 5 grams, and has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. The obverse design features the left-facing portrait of President Thomas Jefferson, created by sculptor Felix Schlag, along with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1985. The reverse depicts Jefferson's Virginia home, Monticello, with the inscriptions E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. More than 1 billion, exactly about 1,167,402,1985 P nickels were produced, making this a very common circulation coin. In average circulated condition, it is worth its face value of 5 cents, though uncirculated examples, graded MS 60 to MS 65, can range from about 25 cents to $2, depending on luster and strike quality. A rare full steps FS specimen, meaning the steps on Monticello's base are sharply struck and fully visible, can command much higher premiums, often ranging from $20 to over $100 in mint state grades. These FS examples are prized by collectors for their exceptional detail and strike precision. Errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or double dies may increase the coin's value. The 1985 P. Jefferson Nickel is significant as part of the long-running Jefferson series, which began in 1938 and remains one of the most familiar U.S. coin designs. Although it has little intrinsic metal value, its historical and numismatic interest lies in its design continuity, large mintage, and collectability in high-grade, full steps condition, making it a small but enduring piece of American history. Next top. The 1994 P. Jefferson Nickel is part of the long-running Jefferson Nickel series, first introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin has remained a familiar part of American currency for decades. The obverse front features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. Above Jefferson's image is the national motto, "In God We Trust," while the word liberty and the year 1994 appear to his right in a horizontal alignment separated by a small five-pointed star. The P mint mark, signifying the Philadelphia Mint, appears just below the year. On the reverse back side, the coin displays Jefferson's neoclassical home, Monticello, located near Charlottesville, Virginia. This depiction has been a central element of the Jefferson Nickel design since its inception. Above the building appears the inscription, E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many, one, which is one of the traditional mottos of the United States. Beneath Monticello, you'll find the word Monticello in bold capital letters, followed by 5 cents and finally, United States of America, along the lower rim. The design emphasizes national pride, architectural heritage, and Jefferson's legacy as a statesman, inventor, and philosopher. Physical characteristics. Denomination: 5 cents nickel. Composition: 75% copper, 25% nickel, a copper-nickel alloy. Weight: 5.00 grams. Diameter: 21.2 millimeters. Thickness: 1.95 millimeters. Edge: smooth, plain. This metal composition gives the coin a silver-like appearance, though it contains no precious metals. It is highly durable and resistant to corrosion, one reason the design has remained stable for so long. Mint and production details. In 1994, the U.S. Mint produced Jefferson nickels at 2 primary locations, Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D, as well as a smaller number of proof coins at San Francisco, S, for collectors. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 722,160,000 nickels that year, making it a common date in circulation. Because of this high mintage, most 1994 P nickels hold face value, 5 cents, in circulated condition, though uncirculated and proof examples are more collectible. Value and collectability. Circulated condition, generally worth 5 cents, face value. Uncirculated, mint state 60 to 65, typically worth 10 cents to 25 cents. High-grade examples, MS67 or better can be worth $10 to $50 plus, depending on strike quality and eye appeal. Proof coins from S mint often worth $1 to $3. The real standout examples are those designated full steps, FS, by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC. Of full steps, nickel shows sharp, complete detail on the steps of the Monticello building, a sign of an exceptional strike and die condition. A 1994 P. Jefferson nickel with full steps can command $50 to $200 or more, especially in gem condition, MS67 FS or higher. Design history and context. The Jefferson Nickel design by Felix Schlag was chosen in a 1938 competition held by the U.S. Mint. Schlag's depiction of Monticello was initially revised to fit mint requirements, but his design endured for over 65 years until it was modernized in 2004 to 2006 as part of the Westward Journey series. In 1994, however, the coin still carried the classic Schlag design, making it part of the traditional era of Jefferson nickels. The 1994 issue came during a stable period in U.S. coinage. No significant compositional or design changes were made that year. However, collectors often pay attention to minor varieties and die errors that occurred during minting. These include die cracks, die clashes, off-center strikes, double dies, and repunched mint marks, RPMs. Such errors can increase a coin's value significantly, sometimes ranging from $10 to over $500, depending on rarity and visibility of the flaw. Interesting facts. Monticello's representation on the coin is one of the most recognizable architectural designs in U.S. coinage. It honors Jefferson's skill as an architect and his Enlightenment-inspired ideals. The P mint mark had not always appeared on nickels. It was first added in 1980 to Philadelphia issues. Thus, a 1994 P nickel is among the relatively modern examples bearing this mint mark. Jefferson nickels are among the longest-running U.S. coin designs, second only to the Lincoln cent in terms of continuous use. The coins from the early 1990s are known for varied strike quality, meaning some 1994 P nickels may appear weakly struck, while others are sharp and collectible. Though common, the coin captures a piece of everyday American history, symbolizing stability, democracy, and craftsmanship. Conclusion: your 1994 P Jefferson nickel is a durable, historic piece of American coinage that connects to the long legacy of Thomas Jefferson and the nation's minting heritage. While it usually holds only face value in circulation, uncirculated or full steps versions are prized by collectors. Next top. The 2004 P United States of America 5-cent coin, commonly known as the Jefferson Nickel, is a fascinating piece of modern American coinage that holds both historical and collectible significance. Struck by the Philadelphia Mint, as indicated by the P mint mark, this nickel belongs to the Special Westward Journey Nickel series, which the U.S. Mint launched in 2004 to commemorate the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark Expedition, 1804 to 1806, and the Louisiana Purchase, 1803. The 2004 edition featured two unique reverse designs, the piece metal reverse and the keelboat reverse, both replacing the traditional Monticello building for that year only. However, your coin appears to show Monticello, which means it may actually be part of the standard Jefferson nickel design that resumed later, or perhaps it is a confusion with earlier issues, 1938 to 2003, 2006, present. The obverse, front, of the coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. Above his head is inscribed, "In God We Trust." To the left is Liberty in Jefferson's own handwriting style, added during the redesign years, and to the right is the mint date 2004, along with the mint mark P. The reverse, back, of the traditional Jefferson nickel displays Jefferson's famous Virginia home, Monticello, a neoclassical mansion designed by Jefferson himself, with the inscriptions E Pluribus Unum above and United States of America, 5 cents, and Monticello below the building. The coin is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, has a diameter of 21.21 millimeters and weighs 5 grams, with a plain, smooth edge. The 2004 P nickel was part of a significant transitional period in U.S. coinage, as the mint sought to refresh the Jefferson design for the first time in over 6 decades. The Jefferson Nickel series originally began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Felix Schlag's winning design featured Jefferson's bust on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. For most of its history, the design remained largely unchanged until the early 2000s, when the U.S. Mint decided to celebrate the bicentennial of one of the nation's most important exploratory missions, the Lewis and Clark Expedition, which Jefferson himself commissioned after acquiring the Louisiana Territory from France in 1803. The 2004 piece metal reverse honored the Indian peace medals given by Lewis and Clark to Native American tribes during their journey, symbolizing friendship and diplomacy. The 2004 keelboat reverse, on the other hand, depicted the expedition's boat navigating upriver, carrying Lewis and Clark along with their crew and supplies. These designs were used only in 2004, making them historically significant and collectible. In 2005, the Mint issued 2 more reverses, the American Bison and Ocean in View designs, before permanently restoring Monticello in 2006 with a new forward-facing portrait of Jefferson by sculptor Jamie Franke. As for mintage, the 2004 P. Jefferson nickels had very high production numbers. Hundreds of millions were struck, meaning most are common in circulation. However, coins in uncirculated or proof condition, especially with strong strikes, full details, and no wear, can be of interest to collectors. The term full steps, FS, refers to a grading designation given to Jefferson nickels that exhibit fully visible steps on Monticello's front staircase, a detail often lost due to weak strikes. A 2004 P nickel with full steps can command a higher value, especially in mint state grades, MS65 and above. Errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or misaligned mint marks can also add to the coin's numismatic value. While a circulated 2004 P nickel is typically worth only its face value of 5 cents, pristine examples or error coins may range from a few dollars to over $100 in special cases. Symbolically, the coin's inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and "E Pluribus Unum," Latin for "out of many one," represent the moral and ideological foundations of the United States. Liberty recalls Jefferson's lifelong devotion to freedom and democracy, while "In God We Trust" was officially adopted on U.S. coinage in the mid-19th century and reflects the nation's spiritual heritage. E Pluribus Unum, first used on coins in 1795, emphasizes the unity of the diverse American states under one government. The imagery of Monticello underscores Jefferson's role not only as a statesman but also as an architect, inventor, and visionary whose ideas shaped early American identity. The Jefferson nickel is thus more than mere currency. It's a small but enduring testament to America's founding values, its spirit of exploration, and its constant evolution in art, politics, and national memory. In summary, the 2004 P 5-cent coin is a bridge between tradition and transition in U.S. numismatics. It marks a moment when the mint revisited the next top. The 2005 United States 5-cent coin, minted in Philadelphia and bearing the mint mark P, is part of the Westward Journey nickel series, which commemorated the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition and the Louisiana Purchase. This series temporarily replaced the traditional Jefferson nickel design that had been used since 1938. The obverse front of the coin features a modernized portrait of President Thomas Jefferson, designed by Joe Fitzgerald, based on an 1800s Rembrandt Peale painting. Around Jefferson's portrait are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," in Jefferson's own handwriting style, and the year 2005, along with the P mint mark indicating production at the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse back of the coin for 2005 came in two types, the American Bison design and the Ocean in View design, both honoring stages of the Lewis and Clark expedition. However, by late 2005, the U.S. Mint reintroduced the classic Monticello design by Felix Schlag, originally created in 1938. Your coin, which features Monticello, belongs to this reissue that marked the return to Jefferson's Virginia home after the commemorative designs. The word Monticello appears beneath the image of Jefferson's estate, accompanied by the inscriptions E Pluribus Unum, United States of America, and the denomination 5 cents. A coin described as having full steps, sometimes called full Monticello, means that the steps on Monticello's west facade are fully visible and sharply struck. This is an important feature for collectors because it signifies excellent striking quality, which can greatly increase the coin's numismatic value. On Jefferson nickels, full steps typically mean that at least 5 or 6 lines on the building steps are completely separated and uninterrupted. If your 2005 P Monticello nickel has full steps, it is considered a higher-grade specimen, especially if it has no visible wear or bag marks. In terms of composition, the 2005 nickel is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighs 5.00 grams, and has a diameter of 21.21 millimeters with a plain edge. While most 2005 P nickels are common in circulation, uncirculated examples, or those with full steps are desirable to collectors. The Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of nickels that year, so regular examples typically hold a value of 5 cents to a few dollars depending on condition. However, coins graded MS 65 or higher with full steps can fetch more from collectors and auction houses. Overall, your 2005 P. Jefferson nickel with the Monticello reverse stands as a modern continuation of a long-respected American coinage design. It symbolizes not only Thomas Jefferson's legacy and architectural achievement, but also a bridge between America's historical past and its 21st-century coinage artistry. While common in circulation, pristine examples with full details represent a small but valuable slice of U.S. numismatic history.